you can create a life and career that you love. So I bring to you today Sagar Amlani, who is a productivity explorer, as you can see on his tagline as well. And he is an amazing person, has got a lot of experience in the corporate sector, and now has very recently jumped into creating his own organization called Zapro Consultants. So welcome, Sagar, to the session today.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Karuna, for inviting me to the show. I'm super excited for the day.
Indeed, it is a pleasure to have Sagar here. He has been doing so much of amazing work. I have been very inspired from him, especially he's taught me a lot about LinkedIn and how I can utilize it for connecting with a lot of people. So over the conversation, you'll hear a lot of stuff about him, and you'll get to know multiple various facets that he is excellent at. So, coming back to Sagar, Sagar, would you like to tell the viewers who are watching it and listening to us and would listen to it later as well about your life journey, about your career journey?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I grew up in a very humble beginning, and it was a very humble abode that we had. So I started my life journey after I started the realization in the city of Mumbai, the city of dreams. And yes, I had many dreams, true, because we grew up in a system called chawl system, and the house was just 10 feet with just four walls, and the single room itself is our living room, bedroom, dining room, whatever rooms you call. It's just one single room of 180 square
Mm,
feet. Right now our bedrooms are even bigger than 180 square feet, so think about 180 square feet, and that's about it. So that was the struggle, and from there on, we had floods in 2005, which brought us on road, on street for almost 40 days because we had nothing else to do and no support. And I mean, the whole journey was like learning, learning, learning. The only thing that I learned during those times was A, nobody has got everything in their life. B, either you be sad and keep cribbing about it, or have an attitude for gratitude in all real sense, which means whatever little that we had so much fun, peace, happiness, and gratitude for whatever was happening with us. Because even today, I would say that it was because of those chawl systems, it's because of those floods, it's because of those stressful times that I'm sitting here and talking to you today. Because the learnings that I've got from those days of my life, I can never get it anywhere else. So I'm grateful to those days of my life who has who have taught me so much, and I'll always be grateful to whatever happens in my life. So that's something which I carry with me. That's a little bit of my background. But if the viewers want to know more detail about it, they can always check out my Josh Talks, which has recently been released on the YouTube. Just type Sagar Amlani, Josh Talks, and they'll get the video. Hello, hello. Are you there?
hello. Yes, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. I just lost you for a couple of seconds.
Sorry that I issue. I'm hoping it's going to be all right in the coming, uh, rest of the session. I if I have any issues, I'm sure you'll continue to interact with the viewers, and same I would do that to make sure that we are
I will.
uninterrupted, have
I will.
communication with the audience. So my question to
Absolutely.
you was, basically about uh, any couple of milestones that shifted your life, shifted your perspective towards life as
Yes, absolutely. So the first milestone that I was talking to you about, my living circumstances and everything, and that's when I decided that if I keep living like this, I'm gonna die like a cockroach because, they grew up and they die and nobody cares for them. But if I really have to make a difference, I should start using the 24 hours that I have in my life very, very effectively. And that was a turning point in my life where I used to go to cyber cafes because I thought of going and studying in London. Now, thinking about not having a place to live, not having food to eat, and I am thinking about going to London. People started laughing about it. And, some people started calling me a crackpot, that he's lost his mind, and so on and so forth. But that's when I decided that if I really have to do, I need to do things efficiently. So while I was working in a company in the morning shift, I converted that into a night shift doing overtimes. And the morning time, I used to go onto a cyber cafe, spending as little as possible because I remember at those times, internet was very expensive, 10 rupees an hour. And you only get it for a limited period of time. So I used to go to a cyber cafe, get things written down, pre-planned about what I want to research, what are the UK universities, what is the budget that I have to look forward for, how I can actually get more money from different sponsors, or who can give me that money, what all things I can do when I go to either US, UK, Australia, anywhere. And that's when I found that, utilizing your time efficiently and effectively is productivity. So what I tell my people, or whenever I go to any coaching sessions or whenever I go to training, I say it's not about how efficient you do everything, but it's also how effective you do it. Because if you produce 1,000 pieces a day, out of which 20 are rejected, I would not count 1,000 as your efficiency. I would count it as 980 because your effectiveness on 20 pieces is already lost.
well.
And that's exactly, I correlate. And that was a milestone in my life which made me understand the value of productivity, the value of time, the value of effectiveness, the value of quality.
Yeah, insane. And you call yourself or what does that stand for? What is
Yeah, I think your voice is cracking, so I'll just fill in a little bit. Yeah, so viewers, if you have any other questions, any other topics while we get Karuna online again, please type in the chat box and we'll just wait for a couple of seconds and I'm sure she'll be back.
can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Perfect, loud and clear.
Okay. So my question was, you call yourself productivity explorer. So what does it stand for? What does it all mean about? And would love to hear more about
Brilliant. So, as we all say that, I'm busy or we are all busy, and right now, working from home, I'm sure everyone is busy because either they are working from home or they are busy on Zoom, attending some or the other webinars or some online webinars. And we all feel that, we are getting more and more knowledge and we are productive. But that's just being busy because every one of us wants to learn everything, which is not right. Why do you want to learn everything? You can outsource things and do the things which you're best at. For example, when I would go into a webinar, I would ensure that I add value or I get value from it. It's just not that I sit there and learn. So when it comes to productivity, or when it comes to talking about productivity mindset, I tell people and I try to enhance them that it's not about being busy, or it's not about doing many things in your to-do list that becomes productivity, but it's about doing the focused thing to reach your goal and using the resources to the optimum level is what productivity means. And having the mindset to choose between what you want to achieve your goal and be focused on your goal is having a productivity mindset, which means the most important thing for an individual to have a productivity mindset is learn the art of saying no. Say no to the things which are not relevant to you. Say no to the online webinars which are not relevant to you. Say no to the projects, the things that are not relevant to your focus, your goal, because we all start as entrepreneurs and we have a focus, we have a goal, and we go on to thinking about many things that we want to do. But during the course of that action, 6 months down the line, 8 months down the line, we are lost in the rat race and we miss our goals. We miss what we were planning to do. And that is where we miss the productivity mindset. And that's exactly what my signature program is, building productivity mindset. And the Productivity Explorer, that has got a very good significance around it. I believe every one of us has got tons and tons and tons of energy and productivity within ourselves. I'm just the explorer to find it and give it back to you. I don't create productivity within a person. I just help him find that productivity which is inbuilt in them. It's just that they are lost on some path. I bring them on the same path again. That's it. And that's why I call myself as productivity explorer and not a creator. I'm not a creator.
Amazing. I love the concept of the philosophy behind the fact that you're not saying that you are a productivity expert or you're a productivity creator, but someone who believes that we all are productive in our own way. However, it's just that you bring and support them to explore that in their own selves. So really love the philosophy you put under that, and the fact that you've gone through certain life situations. It has made you realize that how important it is to be productive in our lives, how important it is to use the time, or rather, uh, you know explore the time in such a way that you are making sure that you're focusing on your priorities, you're focusing on what do you want to do. And I love this concept when you're saying that learning the art of saying no, because so many times in our lives, we are all the time wanting to say no, but just because we want to be people pleasers, we stop doing that. We don't do that, and we at the end of the day feel okay. It it didn't add value, and we keep cribbing about it. So just love the concept. So how do you help people do that? How do you help them to learn the art of saying no? Is there something that you do that in your programs when you talk to people?
Yes, I do, but not going too far. I would love to, with your permission.
Yes,
We were supposed to have this session a week ago, right?
yes,
And you called me up saying that you're not feeling well because there was a throat
yes.
that was hurting, and you wanted to still go on with the session because you committed. Now, that's exactly when we decided that let's not stretch ourselves,
Mm,
because the focus is to pass on a message with a smile on our face and with the energy in our voice. And that's exactly when I discussed with you and we said, let's say no to this thing and let's move on to something else, to
yes,
something better. And that was the
yes,
time you needed time with yourself more than anybody,
yes,
right? So
completely.
that's a live experience that I would love to share, that
Yeah.
you don't need to be compelled, or you don't need to be a people pleaser, or sometimes you also need to take a stop. You can
Mm,
also say to yourself, no, I don't want
mm,
to do this because it's not fitting in my goal. You don't need
yes,
to learn a website, you don't need to learn a Zoom session, you don't need to learn everything that is being taught on internet. Now what is happening is the FOMO is so high that because there is a fear of missing out on learning anything and everything that is being taught
yes.
free of cost on LinkedIn,
Mm,
everyone is just jumping onto everything that is free. But let
mm,
me let me just clarify to everyone that everything that is available for free necessarily does not add value to you and your life.
mm,
It might
okay.
just give you a thought process, but to really learn the knack of it, to really go into a deep dive, you really need to spend time and money both on it,
Mm,
right? So many sessions I attend, they are free, and at the end they say, okay, to do this, this is a course, to do this, this is a book, but you've gone there to attend free of course. What you've done, you've invested 40 minutes of your time, which you could
yeah.
have utilized in something else, something better, something which could have been productive for your focus, for your goal in your life.
So true. And many a times, we struggle to really figure this out, and that this is so important for us if you really look at it, and the live example that you took, absolutely amazing, because we've experienced that in our own way, and I'm sure people will relate to it when they're listening to this as well. So important to know this, that our priorities are we are focusing on our priorities. For example, if I needed to take a break at that point when I had to focus on my health, so be it. And we need to stop feeling guilty about not focusing on
Exactly.
something else.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
So
that's
tell us,
that's
yeah,
yeah, go on.
go ahead. So tell us more about when you say productivity mindset. What are some other things that you support people on, coach people on when you're discussing this with leaders?
So currently, when I discuss with leaders or with the team or with individual, the first thing I start with them is I start with a conversation with them, trying to understand what was their aspiration when they started on that journey. What were they trying to do? Why are they trying to do? Because most of the time the why is still not discovered, because
Hmm.
let's say we are doing this call, right? Before we went on this call, the first
Yeah.
thing that we discovered was, why are we doing this call? We
Yes.
are doing this call basically to highlight the difference between productivity and having a productivity mindset. We
Yes.
are doing this call so that your connections and my connections can actually leverage the conversation that we are sharing today, and
Yes.
that can be a go win-win situation. So unless and until we have these kind of why, because most of the entrepreneurs, they start with a why that they want to develop certain product. But why do they want to develop that product is only because to a situation where they were trying to find something and they haven't received it. And now, because they haven't received it, they are trying to recoup or fill that gap or do something which will help them to create that space. But in that journey, while they're on that journey, they either get caught into the finances, or they got get caught into different presentations where they have to do their pitching and so on and so forth. And most of the time the same thing happens with leaders. A leader starts with his journey in an organization that he wants to achieve XYZ, but when he's on that journey, 6 months down the line, 1 year down the
Yes.
line, he starts getting into the office politics, he starts getting into the external elements which disturb his focus. So I just try to first
Yes.
as a conversation, understand their focus, get on to their mindset which they are having right now. Then I go on to the stage two, which is what is diversing them, what is hurting them, what is disturbing them right now, or why they are trying to be a people pleaser, what are the things that they can to do. And then third is a final
Mm.
phase where I talk to them about what are their priorities, what could they have done, what is a different
Mm.
perspective. If they don't do this, what will happen? Because
Yeah.
giving the worst case scenario or preparing yourself for the worst case will make you
Mm.
actually deliver the best.
Yeah. Actually, very interesting, because understanding your priorities comes later. First of all, you need to understand that what do you really want.
Yep, yep.
And then comes the fact that that is when you'll be ready to start prioritizing things, and you'll be able to work towards it. So tell me more about how have you worked with organizations doing that, and how have you used this in your own personal life, which has helped you become much more effective and
Yeah, so taking on the question that we got from Karuna, she's asking me about what made me implement those things in my life which made me effective.
as you call it, productive in.
Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so we lost your question halfway through. So I was just repeating the question that you're asking
Oh,
me. How is that I've implemented these concepts in my life and how has it helped me, right?
and also
I am not able to hear anything, Karuna. Can you repeat it? Sorry.
I hope you can. Um, we're waiting for Sagar to join us back again. I hope I convey my message to all of you. We're facing some Hey guys, back again. Hope we are able to hear you. Hey Sagar, we're back again. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Apologies for the issues that we're going through on the internet, but sometimes technology doesn't support us. But I'm hoping that the audience is extremely supportive of us, and I can see so many chats up here in the chat box, which I'm going to bring up very soon. People will be, we'll share some pointers that people also have. So getting back to our conversation, we were discussing about how have you implemented this in your lives, and how have you helped other organizations also to implement it in their companies from an organizational perspective. So do share your views on that.
So let me give you one simple example about having the right productivity mindset or having the right approach. So let's go to a pizza. We all buy pizzas, right? You go to a Pizza Hut and you order a good pizza. Let's say you order the Exotica pizza or something of that sort. The person comes to you and delivers the pizza after 40 minutes. It's pretty cold. Would you like to have it? The answer would be no, because it's a cold pizza, which means that the person was not at all effective, neither efficient, because you had a cold pizza and it was delayed. The same person goes to the pizza again or pizza shop again, and let's say he orders, and the second scenario can be he immediately is attended, his order is taken, and he's delivered a coffee.
Yeah.
Now, again, he was efficient, the person was efficient to deliver a coffee, but he was not effective. I ordered a pizza, he's giving me a coffee, doesn't make sense to me. Okay, he's mixed
Mm.
up the orders somewhere else. The third
Mm.
scenario can be very simple. He comes, he delivers me the pizza, but the pizza I ordered was exotica and he's giving me what is just a tomato and cheese. Again, not effective. The fourth scenario, where he comes on time, delivers the right pizza on my table, is when I will be happy as a customer. So this is real example of having the right productivity go in organizations or when I talk to people, I talk about having this to even implementing Kaizen methodologies and going one step forward, I also work with them to ensure that the systems that they have and the processes that they have produce material first time right, which means most of the times when we write or we spend time creating a draft or doing something, we keep on editing it. We are investing time editing it. But why not create something which is first the right time? Why not check the spelling before we send an email to someone? Why not check the product before even it's produced? Which means you design the process in such a way that the quality always comes out right, because you cannot inspect quality, you can only reject or accept a quality. A quality has to be produced. Most of the times we spend time and money on inspecting the quality, but I believe that inspecting quality is like postmortem. The product is already produced. Either you do a rework, which means you're spending more time and more energy, or you scrap it because it's not acceptable.
Perspective to look at it. Ultimately, it's being practical about this entire thing, which is about uh, letting it. Sagar, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm very much there.
Okay, okay. Looks like you're off screen, so that's why I just wanted to check.
Yeah, that could be a button on your screen which you can press. I'm just on the bottom.
Okay, okay. Just acting up funny today. Anyway,
No
so we
problem.
can see you. However, I think we'll have to just kind of toggling the screens, but okay. What I was saying is it makes a lot of sense because this is pretty sensible to have, understand that what is going to make an impact in the organization or what is the end users need, and then creating the entire process according to that. So as you mentioned rightly about, let's say, for example, the pizza experience that you said, ultimately what is the that the customer wants, and the entire organization's processes are accordingly made in that uh, way. So very interesting, and it kind of can be done for multiple functions in the company, not just limited to, let's say, operations or a business development or a customer experience role. It could be for all functions that there would be an impact that might come in.
I have a thought here when you're talking
Yes,
about that.
yes.
Who do you think is the customer in an organization?
In an organization, who is the customer?
Yeah.
So a customer is somebody who is using the solutions or products that the company has for their own needs.
Okay. So here I
Mhm.
would like to add one more thing. Every single person who is receiving the product on the shop floor or even within the organization is a customer, which means if marketing team gets an order, let it be a IT company or a physical
Yeah,
manufacturing
yeah,
company,
yes,
the marketing team, the customer is the operations. For operations, the customer
yes,
is the quality. For quality, the
yeah,
customer is so on and so forth. So which means that we are having customers day in and day out, and we
yeah,
cannot say that the customer is only the end user, but the customer is someone who's going to use the services from your station to the next station, from your department to the next department, which means the process department or the operations department that we have will have many customers. The
yes.
management, all the department are their customers, because if the management is not providing the right support to their team, it's actually not providing the right support to the customers.
Hmm.
So the definition of the
Interesting.
customer is very, very different when you look into a productive mindset, because every person on the next stage of the cycle is my customer.
Indeed, indeed. It's more like having external and internal customers
Yeah.
because you might have your functions, for example, especially let's say enabling functions like HR. When I was working in the corporates in as an HR leader role, For me, my customers were people who were function heads most of the time, or even employees at some level. And we were creating programs or projects based on making sure that they were in that, um, basically in the right, they were given the right solutions that they wanted.
Sure.
So that's very interesting because you're right. Productivity mindset can actually be used for all levels, and our customers, for especially for enabling functions, would be even internal customers for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, productivity mindset cannot only be limited to organizations, to every individual, to even individuals, to even leaders, to even startups, everybody, because a leader would have thought about himself, would have thought about, going and doing certain projects, or the management has a focus of achieving, let's say, 500 crores, or achieving as one of the best organizations for customer service. Now, if that is their focus, they need to have everything in place in their processes, in their departments, in their core values, which will take them towards that goal. And they need to be so focused on utilizing all the resources available to them in that journey, that they always will ensure that the community, the team, and everything is aligned and focused to that goal. And that goal, when we talk about, I'm sure everyone has heard about SMART goals: specific, measurable, realistic, time bound, and achievable. But do they really implement them in their own life? And do they stick on that? Because let's give an example of a management review meeting or any other meeting that happens in an organization. The meeting starts with having a standard agenda. The meeting starts with having a certain goal in mind, a output in mind, that through this meeting, we will achieve that. 90% of the meetings that I've attended as a consultant or as a board member or as just a viewer end up in something else, in completely something else, which is not even in the agenda, which is not even in the flow of scheme, which is neither even in the rarest possibility. Because what happens is they stick on to a problem, they dwell deep into that problem, and the meeting is carried on from what started as XYZ and ends at ABC. They might have started on discussing about talking about audit that is coming up, or a new order, or a new development, and they are stuck on to the pricing, and then the meeting ends up in how they can reduce the cost and they can work on the pricing instead of the development. And I've seen that live in certain meetings, and that is where I tell people that we are missing the focus. And that's exactly what I talk and I teach and I train and I coach people in my programs.
Wow, interesting. And when you say productivity mindset, it makes so much of sense because um, when I am coaching people in my programs, what I tell them is that for anything, wherever you want to be successful, whatever aspect of your life it might be, 80% of it is your mindset, and 20% is the
Very
strategy that
true.
you pursue. So first, we have
Very
to
true.
set our own selves in the right space. Then actioning that is what will make the change.
Yep. Very true.
So these coaching sessions that I talk about, I focus also on when it comes to mindset. But today, when I'm talking to you, it's giving me a whole different way to consider this. That how we can have productivity mindset. It's all about at the end of the day, creating that philosophy, creating that mindset, and that thought process, which is the winning attitude, as we call it. Successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And success is just one part of everything that we have in our life. We all strive for success. We all strive for positions. We all strive for designations. But the underlying thing that drives all of us is not any of those. What drives all of us is peace and joy.
So true.
Because
True.
we will only be at peace when we have completed all our tasks. We will be at peace when we know that we planned for this and we have achieved this. And that is the core reason why most of the people that we meet or discuss, they either have something that they've not achieved, they have stresses in their life, they always have something to crib about, and that is where they also miss the gratitude part, because gratitude is not something which you need to instill in people, but the minute you have gratitude for everything that you're doing, you're more productive automatically. Now the question is how. It's very simple. If I'm not having gratitude towards the conversation that I'm having with you, or even the opportunity that you gave me to talk to your audience and talk to your people, the internet connectivity issues or the other goof ups would have disturbed me. But because I'm having that gratitude, all these minor hiccups are not disturbing me anymore, which means that my performance, my connections, my speech, or my conversation with anyone is not getting affected, and my productivity to share my knowledge, my understanding is at par. It's exactly what I expected. And that is the belief of gratitude. Most of the time, we join in an organization with a very positive mindset on day one. But as it come along, day 10, day 15, day 100, somewhere down the line, we miss that excitement. We miss that fun. We miss that approach that we had on the first day. So just imagine if you can have the same approach every single day that you go to work, your productivity will be at the peak. You will have nothing else to disturb you. You will have no other disturbances within your mind. Your performance will definitely be the best. So that's something which I believe, that creating a productivity mindset will always help individuals. Gratitude is a very strong feeling that will help us to work better and better.
Interesting. We're back again.
So
Said the idea is to keep going, and I'm sure we'll be able to give a lot of value. And as you mentioned, I heard you join an organization, we join a lot of excitement, but after let's say 90 or 100, go forward. Okay, we're
yeah,
losing connection again, looks like.
yeah, we are having network hiccups, I think. Yes, Karuna. So while we were talking about, my productivity and LinkedIn and the LinkedIn mastery that I teach people about how to be productive on LinkedIn, I'm more excited to know because my wife, who has authored a book on 7 management lessons from a homemaker, you talked about women entrepreneurship and you talked about your
Yes,
interest in women entrepreneurship. So can you
yes,
enlighten me about that, because that is something which I would love to
sure,
know.
sure. Thank you so much. So I have always believed that you know it's not about gender diversity, etc., but it is about the fact that I believe all human beings have a lot of potential, and the idea is that using that potential to bring it to the world, because each one of us is so talented that we don't use 100% of our talent actually to showcase it to the world with our own talents. And that's what we are here for in this world. So when I talk about women entrepreneurship, there are some researches that I have done, which talked about the fact that over a course of last few years, even though India is a developing organized country, there are great organizations existing here, but the involvement of women in the workforce has been going, um, and when you look at women percentage of women in the workforce and quality of contributions that they are doing, uh, the consistent downward trend is disturbing. And my interest has always been to support these talented women to get back to work or use their talents if they are still in the workforce, to support them to be financially strong, to continue to add as much value as they can in the world. And I'll tell you, when I shifted my from my job to business, there were a lot of questions coming into me about, is this the right time for me to do that? Is this, will I be able to do this with my personal and professional life if I get into doing business at this juncture? So there were a lot of pointers coming into, questions coming into me. But I was very consistent about this fact that I know that I'm very talented and I have a lot of value. I can add value to this world. Why not explore that right now? And what I did was that the kind of women that I connected with, I took support of a lot of freelance women who wanted to get back to work. These were very talented people out there wanting to get back to work but not able to find the right opportunities. And when I took their support to do my own projects, I was really bowled over by the fact that they were so talented and so much of energy that they had that they could add value to this world. I chose to decide that I wanted to, at some point of time, bring up a program which will help them become much better entrepreneurs. And I took 2 years to do that. And we are going to be launching very soon, a program on helping, a coaching program on helping women find their true potential and then focus on building up their own businesses in their USPs. If they are already business owners or entrepreneurs, it will also help them enhance their businesses. So it's basically helping them build or balance their entrepreneurship journey. Even if you're a woman working or not working, you could build up a side hustle along with that. So that side hustle, this program is going to help you do that. So that's
Brilliant.
my focus for the coming times that I have.
That's amazing.
So I know we're losing connectivity. There is a connectivity issue here. However, I'm hoping that we are being able to convey all our views to the audience and we are able to add value to everyone. And we are very happy to connect with all of you. If you have more questions around what is a productivity mindset, what is it that it takes to, you know, take this up to the next level. If you are focused on building more productivity for yourself, Sagar is the right person to reach out to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Yep. So
thank
do
you
we
so
have,
much for adding value, Sagar, today. Thank you so much, Sagar, for adding value today. I so wish that I had an excellent network. We both had an excellent network and we were able to connect with the audience for a longer time. But let us choose to come back with a much more productive session for the audience. What do you say, Sagar, on this?
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think the internet played a good role today of, sharing with the people that what technology can do in case if you really are dependent on the technology. So yes, absolutely. I'm game on whenever you tell me, and I'll be back. Not an issue.
Yes. So let's plan a vision that will have another aspect of productivity. I'm sure it will further level value add for the audience who wanted to listen to us and had some technical glitch, but I'm sure we will come up with a value
Pleasure talking to you, and thank you everyone for attending and commenting. If you have anything more about LinkedIn, about your productivity in your life on LinkedIn, in your organization, the QR code is there on your screen. You can just type in my name on Google and you will definitely find me. Let's connect, and I'll be happy to add more value.
And thank you so much, Sagar, for being such an amazing support. I think the session has been at least of some value, because I'm seeing comments coming in where Simona is talking about it was a great session. Whatever nuggets of wisdom we were able to share, Sagar, especially I would say thank you to you for being such a value add for this entire program today. Thank you, and do take care. Lovely connecting with you, and guys, I'll be back very soon with an amazing another session on that is about productivity. Sagar, I'm going to be back with a lot of value for all of you. Thank you so much, and lovely connecting with you. Thank you. Bye bye.